guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be me traveling for the holidays, and we're spending Christmas in Pennsylvania. So Friday night on the 22nd, I flew out. I flew from St. Pete to Harrisburg, which it's a super quick flight. It was exhausting. So I ended up not filming a ton on Friday when I flew just because I was so tired. We had to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and then we had to leave our apartment in Sarasota by 3:30, and we got to the St. Pete airport by 4:30 because I had to check my bag and I had to get through security by 5:30 because that's when my flight started boarding, was 5:30 in the morning, and then it took off at like 6:20. So we have been very, very busy. Garrett's not with me. Garrett's still in Sarasota, but he luckily drove me to the airport. And then when I landed, my mom and I went out to breakfast. She picked me up from the airport, and her and I went out to breakfast together. And I'm going to insert some clips here because it was so cute. It was a place in Hershey called the Savory Cafe, and it was like a cafe joined with a bakery. So they're technically like two separate businesses, but they were so cute. And then after that, we had a pretty chill day between yesterday and Friday. It is now Christmas Eve. It's December 24th. So like I said, it's Christmas Eve. And this morning we just went out and we got our morning coffee. So we went to Starbucks this morning. I have a few clips from that as well, so I'll insert that here. And yeah, we just got back, so I think I'm gonna go enjoy my coffee, and I'm not sure what all we're gonna do today. I already wrapped some Christmas presents this morning. I might go over to my grandma's house for a little bit. I already saw her. I saw her Friday when I first landed, but I didn't get to see her yesterday, so I might go spend some more time over at my grandma's house. And then we're going to church tonight, so we go to church every year for Christmas Eve, so I'm super excited for that. It's always a really pretty service, so looking forward to that. And then tomorrow, obviously tomorrow's Christmas, and we're going to be going back to my grandma's house for that and have some good quality family time. And it's been so relaxing. I've seen a few friends from high school, and it's been super nice. So we're just going to keep the good vibes rolling. Are we watching a Christmas movie? I don't know any of these Christmas movies. They put so many on Netflix every year. Yeah, I want to watch like a classic Christmas movie. Record, we decided on the Polar Express. And you've never seen the Polar Express before,
nope,
right?
Never.
Me neither.
How'd that happen?
Okay guys, we finished watching the Polar Express. I'm trying to hurry right now. I need to hurry up and get in the shower. It's 4:30 p.m. and I haven't even showered yet today. So that's nice. We have to leave in about an hour and a half to go to church. So we have some snacks and like little appetizers and stuff, but I need to get in the shower and get ready. The Polar Express was so cute. I can't believe I'd never seen it before. So I'm so glad that we watched it. Okay, I need to hurry up and get ready. Okay, we are all dressed and ready to go. I just showered and I did my hair and I did a little bit of makeup. And I'm just wearing this white cozy sweater. And my dad has the football game on, and he made us a couple little appetizers, so we're gonna have some snacks, and then we're gonna head out and go to church. So our little snacks.
What?
The plates are really cute. And our little snacks. So I just felt like I needed to jump on here because I'm editing my traveling home for Christmas video right now. And I feel like I just really didn't talk to you guys the whole time that I was home. I feel like I filmed myself very little, but I took a lot of cute clips of like some of the things that I was doing, and I still wanted to make the video and share what I did over the holidays because it was a really great time. It was so nice going home to Pennsylvania for a couple of days, and it was kind of chaotic, to be honest. I actually ended up being very busy the whole time that I was there, and I kind of wanted it to be like a cute, cozy, like relaxing Christmas vlog, and that's what I thought it was gonna be. And then I ended up getting super busy the entire time. I had flight cancellations. It was like a whole debacle. So I thought it'd be easier if I came on. So I apologize ahead of time that I had to come on here and you're just gonna have to listen to me speak for a lot of the video. So I just kind of wanted to recap my trip real quick. I flew home to Pennsylvania from Sarasota on Friday, December 22nd, which you guys saw most of that. I included clips from that, and that I did actually update you guys on. So flew home, had that really early flight, got there, and then later that night I hung out with my dad. So we actually went out at night and I ended up bar hopping with my dad. My dad used to be a manager for a restaurant in downtown Hershey, so he knows a lot of the bartenders at other like nearby bars. So we ended up going to Primanti Brothers, and then we went to Finici's, which was the restaurant that he used to manage, and we sat at the bar there. And then we went to a bar called Rubber Soul. And I'll insert a little clip of that. I have a little boomerang of him and I together. And then from there, we went to a Taylor Swift night. Again, he knew another bartender that used to work for him. And I guess he texted my dad and was like, hey, like, I know your daughter's in town. If you guys want to come, you should come to this Taylor Swift night. So we ended up driving like 30 minutes, and it was this big event space, and the DJ played Taylor Swift all night long. So it was actually really fun, and there were people of all ages, which I thought was really cool. Like, it was still a bar, like you could get drinks and everything, but there were also like little kids just be bopping around with their parents and stuff. So it was fun to see like people of all ages. Some people were dressed up. I was there in like leggings and a sweatshirt. I didn't realize everybody was dressing up for this event, and my dad and I decided to go like really last minute. But anyways, that Friday night was a ton of fun. I love spending time with my dad, and we had a blast. And then Saturday was the 23rd. That day I spent mostly with my mom. I actually woke up and I went to a bookstore with my cousin McKenna. She is wonderful. She ends up being my chauffeur when I go home because I can't drive because I don't have my car when I'm in Pennsylvania since I flew home. So she was driving me around everywhere, and I went to a bookstore with her, and I hung out for most of the day on Saturday. And I spent a lot of time with my mom on Saturday. And then that Saturday night, I ended up hanging out with two of my best friends from high school, Sabrina and Alyssa, and the three of us were actually supposed to go out together, but we were all cozy and we decided that we just didn't want to go out. We didn't want to deal with the crowds and buying drinks and stuff like that. So we stayed at my friend's house and had espresso martinis, and it was wonderful, and we just stayed in that night. And so then that brings us to Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve I spent mostly with my dad at his place. And my parents only live like 10 minutes apart from each other, so it's not like I really had to travel or anything. But I tried to like split up the days. I tried to spend equal time with everyone. But then Sunday, on Christmas Eve, my dad and I started out going to Starbucks. And then we ended up watching The Polar Express. I really wanted to watch a Christmas movie, and I wanted to watch just like a good classic Christmas movie, and I had never seen The Polar Express before, and I didn't realize how controversial The Polar Express is. Apparently a lot of people like cannot watch it. It like freaks them out because of the animation. I guess the animation's kind of strange, which it is, but I didn't realize it was like a phobia for some people, and they like can't even bear to watch it. And then of course, like once I sat through it and I watched it, I was getting all these TikToks explaining that half the people love Polar Express. It's like their go-to Christmas movie, and then the other half of people like can't even stand to watch it because it freaks them out so much. So I don't know, I thought that was really funny, but I liked it. I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know if I'd watch that movie like every year. I thought it was really, really good, but honestly, it felt like it really drug on for me. It felt like a 4-hour movie. I was like, these poor kids are never getting to the North Pole. But overall, it was really nice. So I just hung out with my dad and we watched the Polar Express. And then I went to church with him later that night. We had a couple little appetizers, which I took a clip of. And then we ended up going to church. And that's the church that I grew up in. I unfortunately didn't get any clips of that. I wish that I would have. I just feel so uncomfortable pulling out my phone at church, like in general. So I don't know, I just felt weird. So I feel like it's a little inappropriate, but it's always decorated so beautifully. And that's honestly my favorite part of Christmas. As I've gotten older, I don't look forward to gifts as much as you do like when you're a child. So my favorite part of Christmas is now like the Christmas Eve service at church. I love it. That feels like Christmas to me. And then Monday, of course, was Christmas. And that was a wonderful day. I spent it with my mom's side of the family. We spend every holiday with my mom's family. And my Nana, she's wonderful. She hosts every holiday. And it was a really great day. It was very laid back. During Thanksgiving, we had close to like 30 people in my Nana's house, and for Christmas it was more like 10 people. So it was actually really, really nice. And my sister came home and her husband and my little nephew, little Edward. We call him little Edward because my brother-in-law's name's actually Edward, and then they named their son Edward. He's actually the 5th one, but he's wonderful. And any time that I get to spend with him, I really, really cherish, because they live in Pennsylvania and obviously I'm in Florida now, so I don't get to see them as much as I'd like, but it was a really great day. And then Tuesday, before I flew home, we went to Chocolate World. It was little Edward's first time at Chocolate World, which is an absolute staple. Anytime you're in Hershey, Pennsylvania, you have to go to Chocolate World. You have to get a Hershey bar and ride the ride. So we did that. And that was really fun. Me and my sister and her husband, and then little Edward, my nephew, and my dad. So it was the 4 of us and 5 of us. It was the 5 of us. And then I was supposed to fly home on Tuesday night, actually. I was one of the unfortunate ones whose flight got canceled. So I was supposed to fly out at 8:30 on Tuesday night. I was sitting in the airport and then my flight got delayed until 9, which was fine. I knew that before I got to the airport. But then once I got there, it got delayed until 11 p.m. And then not even like 5 minutes later, my flight was canceled. Like once they moved it from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., like 5 minutes later, my flight was canceled, which I'd already like checked my bag and everything. So it was a fiasco. And mind you, I had so many meetings and other plans that like I had to rearrange. Like I had to reach out to like 5 different people and to let them know that I cannot make it home. Like I physically cannot get home to Florida because my flight was canceled. There weren't any other flights going out. Obviously everyone else is like getting rebooked on other flights, so the other flights were full. And it was just such a mess. And I was flying Allegiant, so I was supposed to go from Harrisburg to St. Pete. So I had to go down to baggage claim, grab my bag because I had already checked it, and then for Allegiant, the lines went off in like two separate directions. So you could either get refunded or you could rebook your flight, but obviously it had to be another Allegiant flight. And Allegiant's such a small airline that they only fly on certain days. So needless to say, it was a very stressful situation. I ended up rebooking a flight through Allegiant, but then the next day was Wednesday. So my sister and her family, her husband and son, they were supposed to fly to Fort Lauderdale because they spend the week between Christmas and New Year's every year in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So they were supposed to fly out and their flight got canceled through Allegiant, and that was Wednesday. So I was supposed to fly home Tuesday, that got canceled. Their Wednesday flight got canceled. So I was like, I really don't want to risk my flight on Thursday being canceled. So I actually booked through Delta. My dad had enough points to cover a free flight for me to get on the flight for Delta, which thank goodness. So I just went with that flight because I felt like it was the safest option. And it got me in at a good time. So yeah, it ended up working out okay. I got everything rescheduled that I needed to, and it all worked out. I mean, I got an extra day with my family and the baby, and I made it home safely, which is all I can really ask for. And it feels good to be home and back in Florida. But overall, it was just very crazy and a little bit stressful. And I apologize. I feel like I've just been rambling this whole time, but I felt like so much happened that I didn't really film because I was like so overwhelmed for the majority of my trip and just so busy that I like forgot to pull out my camera. And I had filmed like half of the stuff that I did, and I just wanted to fill you in on the rest of it. Obviously, if you don't want to listen to me talk for this whole time, you don't need to, but I appreciate you listening. And I had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas or holiday. And I really appreciate you bearing with me through that mess of a story. I feel like this was a very chaotic and unorganized video, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I can to put together some sort of video for when I traveled home for Christmas, because it's just such a special time. And I do want to keep you up to speed and let you know how I spent my holiday. But I'm not going to drag it on any longer. I feel like I explained my story, I explained my weekend, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.